Hello, hello, hello. Coming on live for our RLP show live Q&A tonight. Just coming on a couple minutes early before we get started so we can build up our audience before our first guest comes on. We have live guests back this week. So not just reading Q&A out of the inbox, out of the email, but live guests joining us. So excited. I'm drinking water. I didn't get my sippy cup, guys. You have to excuse me drinking out of this big water bottle tonight. Hello, hello, Madeline. Hello, Fashion Pursuits. Hello, Shades of Joys. Hello, everyone coming on here. Hi, Kyle. Hello, everybody coming on tonight. Great to see you. Envision that. Welcome, sweetheart. Good evening, Childs. TL44. Charlene in here. Hey, Charlene. Okay, Charlene's here. Charlene, I'm accepting you to come on. Let me sit back and make sure I can see when Charlene comes on. Hi from Cleveland, Ohio. Thank you, sweetheart. I hit accept, go live. Hi, Charlene.
Hi.
Sweetheart.
I'm so good. You're one of my favorites. I just love you so much. I'm so thankful to be on.
Oh, sweetheart, listen, I just went back and read your email from last year because you had sent in your email and we were supposed to do this right before your birthday last year, right?
Oh, yes.
And then I got my new show on OWN and everything was a whirlwind and the rest is history. But we're here. God is faithful.
Yes. And I'm so happy for you. I watched the show. It's awesome.
Thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, Charlene, I'm going to just go into your original email, okay? And I'm just going to read that original email just to give our listeners and our viewers the background story, okay? So it's okay for me to read all of this on?
Yes.
Everything's perfect? Okay. All right. She said, hi, Rebecca. I'd love to be considered for an upcoming coaching session on your show. I've been watching all your videos on YouTube. Let me hold it up so I can look at y'all. I've been watching all your videos on YouTube for over a year and I have gleaned so much from you, especially when it comes to dating. A little about me. I'm 39, a full-time teacher, write kids songs. You love children. And moved to the Nashville area 3 years ago from LA in hopes of meeting a great guy. So you relocated.
Yes.
Hoping to go into an area that had more eligible, available, family-oriented men.
Yes.
Okay, you're committed to this thing.
Yes.
She said, I've never been married and I don't have kids. I am a Christian and I spent many years doing the waiting on God thing while not meeting anyone. And I did that until I was 35.
Yes.
Now I'm doing the work to evaluate my preferences, take more action, and go on more dates. I've gone out with guys who weren't my type. And I'm meditating on my type being a good man, like you say to do. However, I still feel like I may be somehow blocking love because I still find myself quickly ruling people out or meeting someone and not feeling it. And it's rare I see someone who truly seems kind and has their life together and is somewhat attractive. I've spent so many hundreds of hours on the apps and I need a breakthrough. I've grown a lot over the past few years as I've put myself out there, but I'm ready for the manifestation. I'm turning 40 in September. Birthday present to get to chat with you. So this next year is my year of breakthrough. So now we're into 2022. You turned 40 last year. So you're 40 right now.
Yep.
Okay. So let me ask you just a couple questions, Charlene, okay?
Okay.
Compared to last year and where you're at now, how are you feeling? Give me the fast forward to now, almost a year later. Where are you at? Are you still here? Are you still feeling this way?
Yeah.
How are things going? Oh, we lost your sound for a second. I can't hear you. Hold on one second.
My fault. I'm holding the phone here.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So I moved here 3 years ago. I had not had a boyfriend. I was 37 or 36, I think. And said, I'm moving to Nashville. I'm going to have my first boyfriend. And I manifested that when I was here on a vacation to see if I wanted to move. I met the guy that I ended up being my first boyfriend. Dated him for a few months, but he was kind of on the I think he was on the spectrum. He didn't really look me in the eye. He didn't really communicate very well. And I thought, well, that's not right. But then he had other boxes that were checked and, you know, very vigorous and very cute. And then I moved here and dated a couple other guys, but I knew kind of from the beginning with both of those guys, they weren't going to be, you know, totally right for me for marriage. But I thought, I've had hardly any dating experience in my life. I got to have some experiences. And both of them were big blessings to me. One of them I met last fall and we dated for 3 months. He was an atheist, so a bit different from me, you know, theologically. You know, had long hair, drove a motorcycle. That would not have been what I would been into, but he was so confident. He was so smart, really interesting. And he ended up encouraging me to buy my first house. And so here I am 9 months later, about to close on my first house. And that's a lifelong dream. So I feel like the people that I have been meeting have been part of my journey and it's been good. They haven't been like abusive or bad people. It's just been not that, you know,
not the one, not special, not your husband. Oh, we froze up for a second. Hold on, Charlene. Oh, you went out for 1 second. I think we internet skipped for a second. Okay. So what I want to tell you is you're going in the right direction. When you're having good dating experiences, this is part of the maturity of dating and getting to know yourself and getting to know men and being able to navigate all of that. That's healthy. That's growth.
Yay.
Now, right. And I want you to be able to look at that as growth in the right direction. And I also want you to be able to understand it's those experiences that are getting you closer and closer to true love.
Okay, good.
Because you just now started dating.
Right, right. I thought God was going to bring him, you know, by a supernatural miracle. I mean, I had all the faith in the world, but I just realized that was ridiculous. And honestly, that was really hard for my faith to walk through that because it's like, I thought he gave me dreams and visions. I mean, I had all kinds of supernatural experiences about that confirmation that it was going to happen. And so anyway, that's another topic, but now I'm almost looking for someone who's not quite as, you know, over the top into, you know, church and all of that, just because I did that to the extreme. I mean, everything, prophecy, the whole thing. And then I felt a little bit burned by not others, but my own, you know, just relying on that and not taking action.
Yes, getting so far, like I think I did a video years ago called like how we over spiritualize all of it.
Yep.
To where we're not even living here on earth anymore. We are in the clouds.
Right.
Like the man's coming in on a cloud like Jesus, you know?
Yeah.
And then all of these expectations are literally, he's not even going to be like a real man anymore by the time, if he were to show up in the form that we think we're manifesting. This is not even a man. This is Jesus.
Yep.
You know, like in bodily form, you know, like baby Jesus, the Son of God. I'm marrying the Son of God.
Yep.
You know, I understand completely.
Yeah.
And so one of the things, Charlene, let me ask you a couple questions, and these might be challenging. Okay. So I want you to just breathe and get through these with me.
Okay.
We obviously, you know, the things that matter most to you. You know, now know at 40 what you didn't know at 30 and what you didn't know at 20 about yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you know the things that are very important and you know what you do want.
Yeah.
Do you know what he could be that you could tolerate that would still be a fit for you that doesn't fit under that perfect category?
Yeah, I think so. Because like the last guy I dated, well, he wasn't affectionate at all. And I realized, I mean, I kind of already knew I love affection. So he didn't, you know, touch me on my knee even once. He didn't initiate a kiss once. And I thought, there's no way I'm doing that. So I do need, but, you know, I guess I'm willing to compromise on certain things, but I do want someone who's intelligent, is good at conversation. I'm a teacher. I love to talk. I need someone who has like a little bit of that intellectual spark. Like, what did you read today? Or, you know, not that every day has to be amazing because we go to
Right.
work but I think I'm being realistic about that. But, be kind.
So tell me 3 things
Yeah.
that could be wrong with him,
Okay.
and you would still not eliminate him and say, because,
Okay.
and let me
Yeah.
paint a better picture.
Okay.
Let me make it more real.
Okay.
You're attracted to him.
Okay. Yeah.
He's sweet and kind and has a heart like God. It doesn't have to be super religious and go to church and all of
Right.
that, okay?
Right.
But just a good heart.
Yeah. Okay. I'm willing to let go
And
of
if he
the,
was that guy
yeah.
that you're attracted to, has
Yeah.
a good heart, and treated you amazing,
Okay.
what else does he not have to be?
I guess a job that's great.
As long as he's employed.
Yeah.
He's just employed.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I'm willing to let that go, what kind of a job it is, as long as it's, decent hours that, no night shift or something. But
As long as he has work ethic.
work ethic. Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
work ethic.
I mean, it would be nice if he had something he had been in for a while to show some sort of competence in something.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you've been a plumber, but he's done it for 20 years or
Yeah.
but I have met people that because of COVID and other things, they've switched careers and so they don't check that box. And so I think I'm willing to be open to someone who maybe started something recently, as long as they're smart and competent.
Right. If he's works hard and makes decent money, but he's not good with money. Are you good with money?
I'm okay, but I would like someone who's better than me, but I'm working on that so I'm starting to invest. I'm starting to save more than I used to.
Okay.
So I'm definitely working on that.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what am I
if
feeling?
He's not great. I guess you're right. It's okay if he's not great, but just
okay if he's not great.
Super in debt, maybe, spends stuff like crazy or
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, maybe he's just simple with money and doesn't know a whole lot.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Charlene,
Yeah.
what am I feeling in my spirit about your father?
Yeah. Well, my dad he was a high-powered lawyer in LA, very perfectionistic, he could be harsh with me. He wasn't very, affectionate. He was just busy all the time. He still is. He's retired, but he's still busy. So he just, I didn't always feel, I know that he loves me intellectually. He'll help me if I need financial help, but I never felt like he really was sensitive to how I felt. And he was hurtful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I felt in my spirit, the reason I asked the question about your father, because what I felt in my spirit is there is a root issue with your father.
Okay.
A root issue.
Yeah.
What do I mean by a root issue? There is perfectionism. There is judgment and criticism.
Yes.
That you feel for yourself.
Yes.
You have also applied expectations to a partner because you want to impress your father.
Yeah, that's right. That's pretty good, Rebecca. Yeah, that's right.
That's what I feel in my spirit.
I'm hard on myself, and so I'm hard on others, but I don't want to be like that. I've been way more open-minded. I've gone out on dates with people that are just not in my. I went out with a guy who was almost 60 and just looked like an older gentleman, and I just thought, oh gosh, I'm just really trying to be more open-minded.
Right. So let me tell you how this works spiritually.
Okay. Wonderful.
So mentally, you're getting it. Mentally, you're like, I've got to open myself up. I've got to try new things. I've got to be open. I've got to stop criticizing, or judging, or, setting the standards so high that no one meets these expectations. So you've opened yourself up to these different experiences, and that's going well so far. So here's what's going to get you across the finish line.
Okay, great.
Your heart and your soul have got to let go of your father. You've got it in your head.
Yeah.
because that's why you shift behavior. You've modified your behavior.
Right.
You're modifying your habits. We now have to get that down to a spiritual level.
When you say let go of my dad, is it letting go of wanting his approval, wanting his acceptance? Because he's so hard on me. He's so hard on me. And he's hard on himself, right? But,
Yes.
and I don't even live in the same state anymore. I do still talk to him. I mean, there's been it's been 20 years since I've lived at home. Rebecca, I've cut soul ties. I have prayed. I've forgiven him for years. I did counseling for a few years back in the day. Do I just start thinking of, okay, do I start approving of myself more and just saying I love and approve of myself every day? Like Louise Hayes says that is so powerful when I do that.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I just say, I love and accept myself. And then I feel immediately like, okay, what do I want to do right now? Rather than what should I do? Or what have I not done? And so my question is, how can I do what you're asking?
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to begin to take some quiet time and going into that meditative type quiet space.
Okay.
And I want you to talk to God about this.
Okay.
I want you to say to God, God, I know that I need to be released from my father.
Yes.
I now ask you to show me how to do that.
Yes.
And God is going to begin to guide you through a process of detaching to free yourself up. Because in my spirit, your husband is very different than anything you've had in mind or what your father taught you to have in mind or the expectations and pressures. I get this very much a feeling of an artistic soul that is more connected to your kids' songs and music.
Yes.
And kind of that artistic, nature, that kind-hearted, sweet, flowing, easy type of love.
Yes, and that's the opposite of my dad.
And it's the opposite of your dad, sweetheart.
That's what I need. I don't need a high-powered guy like, that you can't have it both ways, like you've said many times. You cannot have the high-powered guy who's super empathetic and sweet and kind and wants to hang out all the time and hug.
Exactly.
And that's what I want. And one of the last guys I dated that I still talk to is he was so he's a hippie. You
took the word right out of my mouth. Right when I was describing your husband as artistic, I heard the word hippie.
Wow.
You're getting closer.
Yes. Well, this guy, but this guy lives in a van. I mean, he has not figured out his life at all. He's an Enneagram 9 and I love 9s, but he has not figured out what he's doing, where he's going.
So can I tell you something?
Yes.
The reason God has you bringing so much structure into your life and getting that area of your life together is because you're going to be strong in that financial investment.
Okay.
And he's by no means going to be a bum. Okay. He's not a bum.
So I shouldn't marry the guy.
You shouldn't marry the bum. Don't marry the guy. Right? Don't marry the guy in the van. I'm just saying, Cheryl just said in the comments, stay the course.
Okay.
And now I want you to
yes.
Daddy's girl to daddy's girl.
Yes.
Okay. What I want you to do is I want you to separate the love you have for your father from your expectations of who you are and the direction of your life. You are your own person. He is daddy. We love him. I love, you hear me talking videos. I love my daddy. I'm a daddy's girl. I love my daddy to pieces. But I had to recognize the flawed areas in my own father's life. To recognize some of the things he tried to layer on me and some of the things he sewed into me were not healthy. I don't want to duplicate it in my life. I didn't want that.
Yes,
And it
Rebecca.
came out of his
Yes.
own toxic pain and
Yes.
hurt and defense mechanisms and coping and just
Yes.
everything that he, bless his heart,
I
you
feel
know?
in trying to protect me, my dad can be controlling because he's fearful. As a lawyer, you're trained to look for all the problems that could happen. And so he did that
All
with
the
everything.
negatives.
Yes. And part of why I'm really inspired by you, Rebecca, is because you tap into that part of me, because I write songs and I'm passionate. You tap into that part of me that like has always wanted to see that dream go farther. I moved to Nashville. I've met people in the music industry. I meet them when I'm not even intending to. God will speak to me and say, talk to that person. And then it ends up being like Ariana Grande's manager or somebody. And I'm at
Yeah.
Starbucks. Like
Yeah.
I met this Christian artist last week, Blessing Offer. He's got a #2 song on the radio and he's wonderful. And I met him not even expecting to meet anybody. And he's like, I know Chris Tomlin. You want to meet Chris Tomlin? We can meet. I'm like, yes, I want to meet Chris Tomlin. So I'm like, I feel that if I could let go of my dad's judgment, or really not really judgment, it's not intentional, but his fear and his hesitation, he doesn't
Yeah.
take risks. But I'm called to take risks and to try things and to try writing a song with somebody and try to
Yes.
see where it goes. And
Yes.
I stop myself from reaching that because I'm trying to figure everything out before I take one step and see where it goes. And I
Okay.
have to remember what you showed me even when you did that TV show and you said, I thought I would love TV, and then you did it and you're like, gosh, I don't know that I'm for TV. But you wouldn't have known that unless you had done it.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. We have to be willing to give things a chance and try new things. You never know what God has for you. Never know. I want you to do a permission letter.
Okay.
This is what I want you to do. This is your
Okay.
homework, okay?
Okay. I'm writing it down.
You're going to start your letter by saying, I now give myself permission to. I now give myself permission to. And after the to, I want you to describe your dream life. I want you to describe the music. I want you to describe your husband. I want you to describe this artistic, musical, loving dream life that you have inside of
Yes.
your heart.
Yes.
I now give myself permission to be married to the most amazing, artistic, and wonderful man of my dreams.
Yes.
I now give myself permission to write the music and collaborate with other artists of my dreams. I now give myself permission and open myself up to the abundance of God and the universe, that whatever aligns with God's best for me and my life, and that does not have to look like anybody else or anything.
Yes.
I now open myself up to God's abundance.
Amen.
And when you're writing this, Charlene, I want you to envision you are like drawing a line in the sand and you are stepping over. Everything that's come before this is now past, and it is now time to walk forward. Doesn't even matter. Nothing that's come before this moment even matters. We now open ourselves up for greater.
Yes. Oh, that's so good.
And take cleansing breaths, and whatever God guides you to write on that piece of paper, sweetheart, just open yourself up and let that flow. And if you have to read that letter every morning, every evening, God, I open myself up. God, I open myself up. God, Charlene, you have gifts, sweetheart. Music is just the vehicle.
Yes.
Music is the connection, but your spiritual gifts, you're a powerhouse, and you've underestimated yourself and beat yourself up for so long that you've told yourself you're not worthy to operate in those gifts. And sweetheart, I want you to give yourself permission to operate in your greatness, operate in the full capacity of all of your gifts, which means your prophetic gift, which means the gift to hear, the word of wisdom, discernment. God speaks to you about strangers. God speaks to you about people you could just be standing next to. You're an empath. There is greater for you. And can I tell you one more thing? Your breakthrough is connected to your gifts.
Yes. Oh my gosh. My breakthrough with the husband, right? Is that what
All
you
of
mean?
it.
All of it. Is it
It's
connected to
all
losing?
connected.
Yes.
Charlene, show up. Show up so that the man God has for you can find you and
Yes.
see you for who you are.
Yes. Yes.
Up until this point, you weren't even ready because he's a match for authentic Charlene,
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
And it's your job to show up as her
Yes.
so that when he meets you, it's that
Yes.
point of like, where have you been?
Yes.
I've been looking for you.
Yes, I know you're right. I know it, and know it has to do with music, because when I was at this concert last week and all these songwriters were up, all these Christian songwriters were up there, I could see myself with this guy. He was married, but I was like, I've always wanted to be with a guy like that. He's so talented. He gets it. We could write songs together. I'm here in Nashville, so there's thousands of guys that I could connect with, but I'm not out there
Sweetheart,
like I should be.
okay, so I just saw you on a stage, almost like at an open mic situation where
Okay.
you performing. Have you always wanted to do this? Do you do this?
I don't do that. I've been playing my songs for my students mostly, writing kids songs, but I also write worship songs that I could play on a stage, and I also write some pop country songs. And
I want you to put yourself out there. I want you to get on a stage and I want you to be
yes,
behind a mic and I want you to perform something. There's going to be connection in the
okay,
audience and with people that you begin to meet because you're going to put yourself out there. And I don't care if you're shaking in your boots, baby. Okay. Like
okay,
shaking in your boots,
okay, okay,
your stomach in knots. Okay.
yes, yes,
But I want
okay,
you to start performing and putting
okay.
yourself out there. Okay. Hold on. I can't hear you.
Oh,
Your sound
sorry,
went out again.
I'm covering it again. I have to say my passion isn't necessarily, I mean, I can totally perform, but it's not something I've dreamed of to perform all the time. But I feel that what you're asking me to do, that's what a songwriter does, though.
You
I don't have to
step
be.
out of your comfort zone. You
Yeah.
put yourself out there.
Yes.
It is going to open doors because
Yes.
you stepping out of your comfort zone is going to be the key
Mhm.
that unlocks some doors for you.
Yeah, you're so right. Because that really is who I am, is someone who's bold. So I want to walk in that so that the right person can see me shine in who I am, which is
Yes,
letting God flow through me and and blessing people with the song, because you're right, it's just a venue for God's presence. It's a venue for people seeing an example of being real. It's a
exactly.
venue of encouragement to others. that's
Exactly.
that's why I'm
Exactly.
doing it.
All right, so you got your
Yes,
homework. You're going to write
yes,
your God, I give myself now permission to, right? You're going to
okay,
write your
yeah,
permissions homework
okay,
and you're going to get on a stage and that
okay,
opportunity is going to come. You're going to see that somewhere, this open stage mic situation.
okay,
It's going to come and connect and God's going to connect the dots.
okay. Thank you. This is amazing. Thank you so much.
All right, sweetheart. I love you. I'm praying for you and I want to hear your testimony.
Okay,
Okay,
amen.
as everything
Absolutely.
comes together. You follow back up with me and let me know when God starts manifesting all this stuff we're talking about. I
Yes.
want to hear that testimony.
Yes, absolutely. I will let you know, because I'm going to do what you just said. And thank you. I can't thank you enough. This
All right,
is
sweetheart.
amazing.
Thank you. I love you. Thank
Okay.
you
Love
so
you
much for
too.
coming on.
Thank you
Okay,
so much.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys, I gotta find my next caller. Is it caller? There should be a little X, Charlene,
Oh,
somewhere. Let me see
oh,
if I
okay.
can.
I
You
see it.
see
Thank
it?
you.
Okay, you're welcome, baby. Let me find. I gotta find. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, baby. Okay, let me find my next question and guest. Let me see. Uh, Okay. Let me see if this is Ashley, my assistant. I need to know who our guest, Ashley, what is her live? Or what is her? Is she on? Okay, Ashley, just let me know when our guest comes on, or if you find out what her name is. I have a couple of requests here. Oh, Charlene, thank you, sweetheart. It was so great to have you. I have some requests on here, Ashley, but I don't know if one of these is her because it doesn't have names on them. Okay. I hope everybody enjoyed that. I was so great to have Charlene on with us. Thank you so much for your courage, honey, to come on live. Isn't it great when we have live guests? I love it because I'm able to ask so many questions and listen to the Holy Spirit and flow. Okay, while we're waiting to see about our other guests, let me see if I've got another question. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Envision that says, mind blown. Thank you, Rebecca. You're welcome. Okay, I've got a really, really great email here. I'm going to call, this one's anonymous. So she says, I'm going to call her S. S says, good morning, Coach Rebecca. I'm in the 40 plus club. I live in Atlanta, been here for over 28 years, so I'm officially a peach. I've dated, I've been engaged and played the field, but I'm definitely more of a relationship person. I'm an eternal optimist, and I know there are good men out there, but Lord, where are they? LOL. I'm currently on the Facebook dating profile. I met a few men on there, but they all have one thing in common. They are not consistent. Oh, thank you, Kay Cherie. You're so sweet, honey. My girlfriends and I all say the same thing. These men start out calling and texting every day, saying all the right things, claiming they're looking to settle down too, and then out of nowhere, they stop calling for several days, stop texting, and then pop back up days later with no explanation, thinking they can just pick back up where we left off. I don't think I'm being unreasonable when I ask for consistency and for a man who knows how to court a lady. I know it's possible to find love out here, but it's hard in these ATL streets. LOL. All right. I'm going to just call you by your first name because there's obviously so many names I can say your first name. The first name is Shay. So Shay, here's the thing, sweetheart. Until you actually meet men who, because men can be ready to settle down, but that doesn't mean they're ready to settle down with you, which is why the inconsistencies start coming up, even though initially they may be interested. As they start getting to know you, they feel like you're not compatible or they're not really into you like that. So it starts to wane. Back again to you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Everyone's not going to be your cup of tea. Finding the men who are truly, truly interested in you and see forever with you, these men are going to be like more fewer and far between, which is why love is so rare, why we have to be waiting, be patient for true love to come. However, there are definitely some things you can do when you're dating to ensure a little bit higher levels of consistency, maturity, and a better experience when you're dating. And that is directly related to who you entertain, who you accept interest from. Because oftentimes one of the biggest problems with dating is you don't like who likes you. There are always going to be potential partners, guys. This is for the fellas and the ladies, and you just don't like this because your ego doesn't like this. There are going to be people who would treat you like an absolute king and like an absolute queen, but you just may not like them. And so you're ignoring these people who would absolutely just feel it was a complete honor and an amazing blessing to be able to have the opportunity to love you, and you're ignoring them because you have your eyes set on something else. So When it comes to having really great dating experiences and being courted, at the end of the day, that is going to happen when you give people who really like you a chance. People who are really not that into you aren't interested in investing time in money and courting you and getting to know you. That's not a problem when you give people an opportunity who are really, really into you. Cheryl says, the one thing I know, the mistakes we make is always being available to the person in the beginning, so we miss actually vetting them. So here's guys, you know, I got divorced and I dated a lot. Hey, Jazzy Jeff. Hey, sweetheart. This is something I observed. I observed that the men that I thought were the sexiest men, the hottest men, didn't treat me the way I wanted to be treated. Did not pursue me, did not want me, did not want to be in a relationship, didn't want to be settled down, didn't want to be monogamous. The people that you tend to think of as the hottest, sexiest, you know, physically appealing people, and that goes directly related to what I've talked about a lot previously, that really good looking people know that they are very good looking typically, and they know their options, they know their value on the open market, which means that the more good looking someone is, the more options they have, and they are exercising those options. How does that relate to your dating experience? The more attractive someone is, the more options they're exercising. Guys, we don't like this kind of stuff, but it's the truth. Do you think, like, this is something to think about? Do you really think that when you meet someone that you are the only person that they're talking to when they meet you? When you meet them, they're already talking to probably several people that they're kind of getting to know or they've met. And you're now kind of on the bench or on the team of people that they're getting to know, as well as the more money they have. Yes, Jerica, that goes into it too. This goes the same for beautiful women. The more beautiful you are, the more sexy you are as a woman, the more options you have. Fellas, don't think that when you meet a beautiful woman online, that you're the only person she's talking to. There are lots of other men that are getting at them, trying to get with them, trying to shut it down, Surgery in the City says, I assume they are because I am. Spoken like a true baddie. Surgery in the City's a baddie, y'all. Surgery in the City used to do my lashes in Atlanta. I know her personally. Surgery in the City is a baddie. You can go look at her profile, okay? I'm just speaking facts. She's in the gym every day, working out, tight, right, snatched, skin, everything snatched. She ain't got no problem with options and potential men being at her. She's like, I know I'm talking to people. I'm expecting that you're talking to people too. That's what single people do. If you know how to date and you're on the open market. So that being said, I miss you too, sweetheart. It's good to see you. Listen, so guess what I did? When a man who was not in the normal circles out here in this dating machine, aka Carrie Pope, what am I talking about? There are people who live more simple lifestyles who are not out here in these streets. I'm just going to tell y'all what would be my best advice as a matchmaker. For all of you guys who live in these big major metropolitan areas, you don't want these city slicker people. If you wanted the fine chicks, if you wanted the single ladies and the single in the city, you sexy in the city, you need to be dating you a dude from out in the suburbs. You need to be dating, if you in Atlanta, you need to be dating somebody from Raleigh, North Carolina. You need to be dating somebody from Macon, Georgia. You need to be dating somebody from out there in the boonies where they don't even have women who look like you out there. Out there, honey, you the hottest thing popping. He about to lose his mind talking to you, dating to you. He gonna be showing pictures of you to all his friends on his phone, like this who I'm talking to right here. This my boo. This, you ain't getting that in Atlanta. You ain't getting that in Atlanta. In Atlanta, there's a snatch big booty Judy on every corner, every 2 seconds. I pay attention to people. I'm a people watcher. I look at women, I look at men, I observe behavior, body language. I am a connoisseur of people. When I go out and about, I see gorgeous women everywhere. Super Soul Brother one says he always comes to Atlanta though. No, they don't. Not the mature ones. When I met Kerry Pope, he was in his mid-40s. Kerry Pope ain't chasing nobody into Atlanta. He was not trying to be up in these Atlanta streets. He don't even like the city. He don't like traffic. He don't like everybody's impatient. He don't like everything moving fast. I'm just telling you this is just my best advice. Y'all need to be going out to Conyers, Covington. Y'all need to be going to the Home Depot and the Lowe's in these suburban, more rural areas where all them good men be buying all that stuff to fix up their houses and fix their mama's porches and fix up their patios and fixing something in the house. Carrie and I met via Facebook. A friend of mine posted a picture of us. He saw the picture, asked the friend who I was. We would have normally never met. We did not run in the same circles. We only had one person we knew in common, which is that new friend I had made, and she posted a picture of us. Miami, Bammy Cake, it's all the same. Miami, New York, LA, Atlanta, Chicago. If you are in any major big metropolitan city, you have to understand that the technology and the dating apps have saturated these areas with too much experience. London, Fran inspires. What if I'm in London? London, Dallas, yes. DC, yes. Every big major city, all these city slicker singles are all dating each other. Now, let me tell you cognitively, psychologically what this does. Because the apps are built this way. The effects that the apps have on people's brains is that it feels like a video game. It feels just like Instagram when you're scrolling, and the apps are built, Denver, Toronto, it's all the same. It's all the same. The apps are built. She said, I met my dude in a Facebook travel group, not in Atlanta. Thank you, Surgery in the City. Detroit, yes, all the major cities. This is my advice. On these apps in the cities, okay? Everybody's on these apps. They're all, and there's this effect psychologically. Everybody is desensitized. Everybody is extremely nonchalant, even though you do want to be in a relationship, even when you want love, there is a subconscious mentality, that you have a ton of options, because when you go on these apps, especially for men, the effect it has on single men psychologically, because they are so visually driven. I'm not moving to East Bumba for a husband. Boo-boo. Listen, I'm just telling you, some of the best men. Right. Surgery in the City said everybody on Facebook thinking they can reach out and touch all these options. Listen, Tiffany says she met her husband in Atlanta. I'm not saying there's not good men in Atlanta. There really are. I'm telling you that the men who are on the dating apps in the major cities, go and change your zip codes on the apps. This is one of the tricks for the algorithms. Change your zip code on your app to a little bit more suburban or rural areas, so that the app is picking up single men in that you wouldn't normally be matched with, because they're outside of the geographic area of who they are trying to connect you with. It's one of my tricks. Why? Because the men in the urban metropolitan areas, there's all these beautiful city women, and they're just going through like this, guys, and it feels to these city men like they have all these options. It is like this smorgasbord of women. Yes, Super Soul Brother 1 says, we are overwhelmed with so many women, but quantity doesn't mean quality, chemistry, and compatibility. Exactly. But because men are created and wired so visually, they're so distracted by these pictures and all these women that it's so difficult to narrow it down to choose just one and actually give her your attention, because their brain thinks, oh, well, I mean, she's okay, but, oh, let me go see. Oh, it's feeding into this insatiable appetite for better, 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 better. More, 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 better, better, better. There is this insatiable appetite as human beings that if you start creating this vicious cycle where you're always thinking there could be something better, you get something you've always wanted, it's still not good enough. You want bigger, better, more. Simply Nicole 31 says greed, lust. Yes, it all falls up underneath those lusts of the flesh that just are never going to be satisfied. Never. And that's the problem, ladies, with you fishing in these ponds in the major cities where there's so many beautiful women, and men have, and I know I experienced this. I would meet men on the apps back when I was single, and they were like okay to me. And then when I would get to know them, or we start talking a little bit, they're treating me like I'm an option, like I'm not even a big deal. And I'm sitting here like, but dude, you are out of shape. You don't even have a good sense of humor. Like, because in his head, his ego has gotten so inflated because he thinks he's so much more than what he is and deserves so much more than what he's bringing to the table. And you're sitting there like, am I in the Twilight Zone? Like, you're maybe just 2 levels up from kind of being a scrub, but yet you're treating me as if You're trying to decide if I deserve you. What? Yes, just Rod. Yes, just G Rod. There are definitely women who do the same thing. For sure. I'm just speaking from my own personal experience, Rod. Because social media and the dating apps have people's egos just so exaggerated. So exaggerated. And you're just sitting here like, this is crazy. So without Facebook or without technology, I would have never met Carrie. But that's one of the tricks. Fellas, I'm going to give you the same advice. Fellas, I'm going to tell you, you need to be looking for women who are a little bit more down to earth. You need to be looking for women whose values are grounded in the things that really matter when it comes to being a wife and a mother and a good person. You ain't really that sweet, bruh. Listen. You're just sitting here like, yes, and it's hard to meet people if you're not online. So these are some of the tricks I'm going to, some of those secrets that I used as a matchmaker. I'm going to be teaching these in the Divine Dating Workshop also. Because at the end of the day, we've got to learn how to navigate the technology. Even if you're saying to yourself, you don't want to be on a dating app, guess what? You still have to learn how to do inbox messages and respond to people. I mean, if I wasn't on dating apps when I was single, I would have never had any dates. Ladies, I hate to tell you this, but we don't live in a time anymore where men are going to be approaching you like they did 10 and 20 and 30 years ago. Because, I mean, the technology now makes it easier for men to just slide into the DMs or send you a message on the app. Men don't feel pressured to talk to you when they're out and about. For those of you who are like, Rebecca, I just want to meet a man the old-fashioned way. Guys, that stuff is like few and far between now. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it is fewer and far between. Veronica Alpha says they still approach. Veronica, I'm happy for you. Men never approached me. Men never approached me. Never. Somebody said, Becca, she said, patience for these dating apps is short. Authentically, Nick, that's why you need to be in the dating class. We're going to do in the dating workshop. I'm going to show you which apps to be on. I'm going to show you how to manage it so you don't get exhausted and just, totally over it when you're on these apps. Some women do make it difficult to be approached. Yes, I agree. I've watched it happen. I've been out at restaurants and watched when a man does try to approach and he gets just humiliated and ground up into pieces. I've watched it. Sunshine says, I'm cute and I never get approached. I know I was banging. Listen, 30 pounds ago? Y'all don't want to play with me. I was single and sexy, okay? I was banging before I put on weight, married Mr. Pope. Nobody ever approached me. You know what Stefan Labasir told me? He said, Rebecca, you look intimidating as hell. Stefan and I used to do a radio show together. We used to do all types of events in Atlanta when we were first getting started with coaching. And he would be like, you're unapproachable as hell, Rebecca. You just look so intimidating. And I'm like, what? I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. I was literally like, Stefan, I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm always smiling. I make eye contact. Like, what is it that I'm doing that makes me so unapproachable? Stefan is my old roommate. Anna said, Stefan's my dude. XO Ashley Janae. Rebecca, do you mentor your abundant life coaches personally? I'm a coach and I love your vibe. Yes, we actually have live Q&As monthly, and we do meetings, and we're in our own private group together. Yes, so you do get access to me as a certified abundant life coach. The really certified abundant life coaches are my only really true mentees. Those are the only people I mentor, are my certified abundant life coaches. I smiled all the time, Stag Meatball. I don't even know how to be any more approachable than I was. I mean, guys, I'm just telling you the truth. I didn't feel like I was intimidating. But then I feel like even if you're just really pretty, that can be intimidating. Like, real talk. So, like, I mean, you can't win. Anyway, that was my answer for dating in these ATL streets. My time is about up. Did anybody have a quick question for me before we get ready to get out of here? Can your feelings change for your spouse in a Christian marriage? That's a good one, Tiffany. Can your feelings change for your spouse in a Christian marriage? Tiffany, wait, Carrie Poe came on here. You won. Yes, I did, baby. We ain't even gonna lie. Will you be helping us choose picks for our profiles? Yep, teach you how to completely build your profiles, what to do. You're gonna have a standard operating procedure for exactly how to date online. I want to answer. I want to think about this question. Can your feelings change for your spouse in a Christian marriage? That's a good question. I want you to. I got questions. I don't want to say your name in case you wanted to be anonymous. I won't say your last name. Tiffany, can you send that question to live@RebeccaLynnPope.com and let me know if you want to come in to on live on camera with me? Because I got questions. I can't give a cookie cutter answer to what you just asked me, Tiffany. I need you to send me an email at live@RebeccaLynnPope.com because I got questions. I want to see if you want to come on camera. I want to know what's really going on because there's no cookie cutter answer. Yeah, see how Little John Roberts says, Rebecca, you should do a singles mixer. It's so funny. You should say that, John. Carrie and I are getting, we're launching Abundant Life Nation, you guys. And we've been already talking about the types of events we want to do for our singles groups and for everything we're going to do with Abundant Life Nation. And that's one of the things we're going to do. That is one of the things we're going to do, is do some singles and mixers events for our Abundant Life Nation members. Definitely. We're going to be, it's a ministry, but it's going to be totally different than anything anybody has seen. What do you talk about on the first date without being too forward? I mean, I'm one of those people who just ask like very real questions on first dates. I want to know your interests. I want to know your dreams. I want to know what's in your heart. I want to know what you're looking for in life. I want to know your gifts. I want to know, I'm one of those people. I want to know the essence and the heart of who you are. That's what I want. Yes, it's going to go up on YouTube for a replay, Shelby. I want to know the essence of who you are. I'm asking real questions on first dates. I want to know where you're at in life. I want to know what you're looking for. I want to know how you feel. I want to know what you're going through. I want to know some of your biggest victories and accomplishments and things you're proud of. I want to know some of your failures. I just want to know everything. But guys, understand when, having a conversation doesn't have to be like you're grilling somebody. All you have to do is be sincerely interested. Just be sincerely interested. Don't go out with anybody if you can't be sincerely interested. I had no problem ever talking to Carrie because I was sincerely interested. I want to know everything. Everything. Spill it, boy, Anna says. Dissembler says, what are some good dating apps? Sign up for the class. I'm going to give you all the keys to the kingdom. On the first date, though, listen, on the first date, I'm going to ask whatever questions come across my heart. I'm going to ask whatever questions come on my mind. I'm going to talk about, I'm one of those people, guys, I love to talk to people. I'm serious. So I'm not going to talk to you like you're a potential love partner. I'm going to talk to you like we about to be good friends. That's me. I'm going to talk about, you know, I'm going to ask you questions like you have the potential to be my friend. That's what I'm going to do. I want to know your heart. I want to get to know you. I don't know you yet, Johnson. John's like, look, I don't know you, chick. I don't know you. But I also have a way about myself, guys, that it didn't, turn people off. I mean, I guess because I'm genuine. Like, I'm asking you really genuine questions. And most people like to talk about themselves, especially, I guess, when you're really sincere. If you're really sincere, what's the problem? I'm just saying. All right, make sure you send all your questions to live@RebeccaLynnPope.com. Make sure you sign up for the wait list for the Divine Dating Workshop for those of you who want to attract true love and marriage. That class is going to be I'm getting to the nitty gritty, okay? If you really want true love and marriage, don't come in there trying to waste time. I want people who are ready to do exactly what I'm going to give you instructions to do because you want to be positioned to attract true love. Okay. So that's the Divine Dating Workshop. Do I believe in love at first sight? I believe in lust at first sight. I believe in infatuation at first sight. I think it takes a little bit more for true love. John says, I'm private and don't feel like I should tell you everything on a first date. And I can respect that, John. But I'm also the type of person I would just get stuff out of you. Because I just make you feel comfortable, make you feel cool. And if you're like that on the first date, by the second, third date, you're loosening up. Shoot, you have a drink on the first date, you start relaxing anyway. I'm just saying. All right, so get on the wait list. Make sure you we have a brand new call center for those of you who need to book a call to get more information about becoming a certified abundant life coach. We have a new call system. We have enrollment advisors. You can get on the phone with them. So make sure you click the link in my bio to become a certified abundant life coach. We've got enrollment advisors waiting. You can ask all the questions you want after you get all the details on our site. That's brand new. Okay. So make sure that you sign up to book a call. What else? Make sure you take your work masterclass. Make sure any other announcements? Oh, make sure you donate. Make sure you make a donation or partner with us for Abundant Life Nation. Make sure you make a donation. If anything I've done or said in the video today has been a blessing to you, you can sow seeds of love and gifts at my link in my bio too. I love you guys. Wasn't God with us with Charlene? God is so good. God is so good. Anyway. Guys, I know that a lot of men have been hurt and it's hard to really be open because you don't know people. But, try not to be too guarded. Try not to be too walled up. It's really hard for love to get to you if you're too walled up or too guarded. Okay? All right. Okay, Ashley wants me to pray. God, we thank you. We thank you for this time together. God, I thank you for everybody on this call tonight. I pray for every soul that's going to catch it in replay. God, we thank you. We thank you for our lives. You thank you for keeping us until this point. God, just like Charlene, I ask you, God, to open our hearts for greatness, open our hearts and give ourselves permission to love on the next level, to live on the next level. We open ourselves up and invite in abundance. God, open us up to abundance. We know that all things are inside of you. So remove fear, remove hesitation, remove resistance. And God, have your way in our lives, that we take our next steps with boldness and confidence and joy and peace and bliss. We thank you. Guys, thank you so much for supporting me tonight. Thank you so much for those of you who are giving. Thank you so much for your gifts of love you've sown into me and Abundant Life Nation. We appreciate you all so much. The Abundant Life Nation page is coming up for membership. Make sure you look out for that. Listen, I love you guys so much. Blessings in abundance. Mwah. Love you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.